You know that sound, right? A little bit of an overdriven guitar. Well, you see, a long time ago, well, not even that long ago, 50 years ago or so, the only way to get that sound was to have an amplifier turned all the way up. Hello folks, Richard Durazo here with your musical Who Was and How To's, and today I'm going to be talking about tinnitus in some of our favorite musicians and how to avoid tinnitus. Now first I want to talk about what is tinnitus, whatever.
Tinnitus or tinnitus.
Hearing loss, and how does it happen? Let's get started. Now, honestly, tinnitus is a common problem and affects about 15 to 20% of people. It can happen in one ear, both ears, or, for example, just the left ear, just the right ear. That's perfectly normal. Now, it can also come in the form of buzzing, roaring, clicking, hissing. Personally, I hear some high-frequency whistling only out of my left ear every once in a while. So I already know I have it a little. The causes are pretty common, especially if you are playing music. When you have extremely loud sounds, it will slowly get rid of the actual muscles inside of your ears function. You can also have hearing loss from ear infections, that could happen, from neck injuries, or from certain medications. So just imagine long sounds over time, especially for those early rock musicians, those guys playing 100-watt amps all in front of a crowd, a stadium. That eventually takes its tolls on your hearing, and even just loud music in general. Loud noise exposure over time will cause tinnitus and will slowly start getting rid of your ear function, especially as you get older, which is something I think about. Also, for some strange reason, men experience it more than women, and people who smoke or drink more frequently than others also have a higher risk of it. A couple musicians who I really appreciate who have this are, for example, Eric Clapton, Eric Johnson, Ozzy Osbourne, to name a few. Eric Clapton and Eric Johnson have very similar stories of how they got it. Basically, as I kind of demonstrated in the beginning, the only way to get that sound out of amps back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, well, probably less so in the 70s and 80s, was to have your amp turned up as high as it could go. Ozzy Osbourne has stated that he probably lost his hearing due to all of the headbanging he was doing, so now he just constantly hears a ringing in his ears. Now another person who suffers from this is Phil Collins, and that's why we've been hearing less of him. Phil actually said it was a sign from God to stop when he started going deaf in one of his ears because of an infection, which is just a nightmare to musicians, especially one as talented as Phil Collins. Which kind of brings us to where we are today. Now, one of the reasons we have less gigantic amps and everybody's settling for smaller amps is because of the fear of losing your hearing. Also, it has to do with the technology we've made to make that sound of a pushed amplifier available in just a pedal, for example, or even programs on the computer, or just all kinds of other stuff. You want to protect your ears as a musician especially. That simply could mean wearing some ear protection when you go to shows. A couple brands or a couple companies sell it. Just make sure you are taking care of your ears and your hearing. Make sure not to have the sound too loud. And also always test monitors with the volume all the way down. That way you don't accidentally blow your hearing out just one random day because somebody left it all the way up. Anyway, if you enjoyed this content, leave a comment. This is the first type of video of this style. I'd like to see if it works. If not, I won't do more. If so, I'll keep looking up safety. I don't know what to call this. Just be safe and take care of your hearing. Maybe the lifestyles of a musician? We'll figure it out. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, just hit the like button. That's all I need. Bye-bye.